Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Touchpoint Group 2023 Banking App Awards. After the feedback we had from the 2022 awards, this was always going to happen. Now, these awards are based on data that we have collected over 1 million data points over the last 12 months, from the 1st of November 2022 all the way through to the 31st of October 2023. And we wanted to get them out to you before Christmas 2023. So you got something to mull over while you are getting away. And Tony Patrick, this isn't a subjective process, is it? Being the head of customer intelligence.
No, you're right, Glenn. A lot of awards out there are just based on subjective, I suppose you call it, just on opinion about how the apps are actually working. This is the app in the wild as it's working out in the wild with customers. So this is the real world. And so what we're showing here is actually what's important to customers, but also who is actually leading on those key things that are good for customers.
Mm-hmm. And before we get into the individual awards, how about you just talk us through the process in regards to things like that engaged customer score and how that data is collected?
That's a good point. So this data is coming directly from the App Store and the Google Play Store. So what we do, though, is not just collect everything coming through into those systems. We collect information which is anyone who's given both a score and a comment. We call that the engaged customer score. And that's very important because these are the people who have an interest and are giving you feedback. It's both positive and negative, and that gives us a really good feel of what's going on. So any movements we see, we know exactly why they're going on because there's a comment connected to it. So a very important piece of work behind this to get this running the way it has.
Fantastic. So without further ado, let's rip into it, looking at the UK market. And that first award is for the UK main banks winner. And I'll just reiterate, we are going to show the awards for the main banks that are winning. We will also tell you about a number of banks that we've recognised for great contributions. And then Tony will, while he's going through the data, he will give you some insights in regards to category winners and why they actually came to that point. So over to you, Tony.
Brilliant. Thank you, Glenn. So let's just jump in here. So straight away, this is what I'm calling the nominees. This is our top three across 2023. So Lloyds, Nationwide, and NatWest. Of course, Nationwide went through a rebrand recently after many years of a different look. So this is our nominees, the top three. But let's get straight into it. Who is the winner? So who's the winner out of these three? So for 2023, it is Lloyds. So Lloyds is very consistent. So we'll see that in a moment. So Lloyds has done very well on a few areas. Let's have a look, though, at why they've actually done so well. So first of all, we can look here and see this is the score across the past year for Lloyds. And one of the things you'll see, this is a score out of 5, and they're sitting pretty much consistently above 4.5. And they represent what we see as one of the global best players in terms of banking app experience. And you can see there's not much movement either. They're not sort of suddenly dropping away when there's problems. They're very consistent across time as they have new app releases. So very positive movement. Now, we have seen this before. This is one of the things. NatWest was actually up there with Lloyds for a good chunk of the past year, but they had issues recently. Now, but at the same time, they wouldn't have got to first place because they never really hit above that Lloyds level. But NatWest has the opportunity and the heritage to get back up there as well. So that's what we want to see from them, is to get back up to that level as well. So I won't go through every one of these, but what I will do is have a look at why Lloyds has won. What we're looking at here are pain points. These are problems people are having across 4 key areas. So we're looking here at reliability and stability, features and functionality, design and UI, and authentication. So issues people have across those 4 key areas. And this is done using advanced AI text analytics. And so we then categorize that into here. And this then reflects what that score looks like. You can tell here, look, if I look here at Lloyds, I can see clearly it's actually in blue here. It's sitting below all the others, which is good because you want to get those pain points as low as we can. Now, in some categories, we have one bank actually leads on the score, but then maybe in some areas they might do better on some of these topics. But Lloyds has done well across the board. So the reliability is below 8%, features and functionality issues is below 3%, And even on the right here, design and UI is only just over 2%. So very, very positive for authentication there at 2%. So they've done very well across the board, which is why they have succeeded. So from my perspective, just keep what Lloyds is doing and use them for best practice.